When soldiers were dropped into enemy territory during World War II, survival wasn't guaranteed by strength or weaponry. It came down to what they carried in their pockets. Every pilot, commando, and infantryman knew that once separated from supply lines, only their small survival kit stood between them and death. These weren't fancy gadgets or modern tools. They were compact, simple, and often improvised. Yet, decades later, the same items could still save someone lost in the wilderness. The genius of World War II survival gear was practicality. Every piece had multiple uses, and nothing was wasted. Today, many of those forgotten tools remain unmatched for real-world survival. The smallest fishing kit ever issued kept soldiers alive for weeks. Inside many World War II survival tins was a tiny fishing kit, just a few hooks, a short coil of line, and sometimes a small lure made from foil or tin. It sounds trivial until you realize that protein was the hardest thing to find behind enemy lines. Downed airmen stranded in the Pacific used these kits to catch fish from shorelines and shallow creeks, sustaining themselves until rescue. The brilliance lay in its simplicity. A few meters of line and hooks weighed less than a button, yet they offered unlimited meals. To apply this today, carry 20 meters of monofilament line and a few hooks wrapped in tape or foil. That's all it takes to turn a stagnant pond or river into a food source. In modern terms, it's the cheapest, lightest insurance you can have. Soldiers often tied line to bootlaces or sticks, using insects or bread as bait. Even in freezing conditions, the kit worked. Proof that good design never expires. The pocket saw was the unsung hero of cold survival. The wire saw issued to Allied troops was a simple strand of twisted steel with 2 metal rings. But it allowed soldiers to cut branches, make shelters, and gather fuel without an axe. Many who survived the Battle of the Bulge credited such tools for allowing them to build lean-tos and fires quickly when temperatures dropped below freezing. Modern bushcrafters still use this same design. The key is really all about technique. Wrap the saw around green wood, use slow back-and-forth strokes, and, don't overheat the wire. A small saw like this can cut enough branches to build a windbreak or fire bundle in just a few minutes. Today, upgraded versions with coated wire or chain links still echo the original design. The World War II version proved that cutting power doesn't depend on size. It depends on resourcefulness. The waxed match tin was honestly a masterpiece of waterproof fire starting. Before disposable lighters, waterproof matches were the lifeline of every soldier operating in rain or snow. The standard issue match tin had a wax seal that made it airtight, keeping matches dry even when submerged. Soldiers could light fires with damp wood by shaving off the outer layer and using wax or paper as kindling. Fire meant warmth, cooked food, sterilized water, and really morale, all from a pocket-size case. To recreate this survival edge, pack waterproof matches sealed in wax or a waterproof container. Even better, store cotton balls dipped in petroleum jelly. They'll ignite instantly, kind of mimicking the World War II field trick of using gun oil as fire starter. When soldiers had nothing else, they'd scrape fabric from uniforms or bandages for tinder. Fire wasn't just heat, it was a signal, a shield from despair, and quite often the deciding factor between life and death. The signal mirror and compass combination, really turned confusion into direction. The military issued these small steel mirrors not for grooming, but for signalling aircraft and navigation. Just a single flash from sunlight could be seen for miles, and soldiers trapped behind enemy lines used them to call for rescue. In polar regions, mirrors were even used to reflect light into dugouts, providing much-needed warmth and, honestly, a boost to morale. Paired with a button compass, one of the smallest yet most ingenious tools of World War II, these items gave stranded troops the ability to orient themselves without landmarks. The compass was often hidden inside buttons, cufflinks, or even belt buckles to avoid detection if captured. The principle remains invaluable today: always know your direction and always have a means to signal for help. In survival terms, awareness and communication often outweigh brute strength. The candle stub, believe it or not, saved more lives than most weapons. A tiny candle, often less than 2 inches tall, was standard in British and American aircrew kits. It wasn't meant for light, it was for heat and morale. In a cold foxhole, that stub could warm hands or dry damp socks. Soldiers learned that with a small tin, candle heat could boil water or thaw frozen rations. During blizzards, a lit candle in an enclosed space prevented frostbite and hypothermia. For anyone venturing outdoors, the lesson is clear. Carry a heat source that doesn't rely on batteries or fuel. Even today, a candle in a metal cup can raise the temperature in a small tent by several degrees. World War II soldiers proved that small warmth can mean survival when everything else fails. The sewing and repair kit wasn't about comfort, it was about survival. Known as the housewife kit, this small roll of needles, thread and buttons might seem mundane, but it allowed soldiers to repair torn clothing, patch shelters and even close wounds in emergencies. A ripped sleeve in winter or a torn tent in the rain could be deadly. This little kit turned useless fabric into tools and protection again. Modern survivalists still echo this with a minimalist repair kit. Thread wrapped around a card, a few needles and safety pins. The wisdom is timeless. Keeping gear functional is as important as having it. World War II survival was less about invention and more about maintenance. The tin itself was a tool of survival. The container holding all this gear wasn't just storage. Soldiers used it to boil water, cook food, or collect rain. Some used it to sterilize instruments, others as a digging scoop or signal device. It was metal, durable, and multi-purpose. A perfect lesson in efficiency. Every inch of the kit served a role. To apply this principle, think of every piece of gear as having at least 2 purposes. A tin cup can become a pot. A knife sheath can carry tinder. World War II pocket kits were designed under the harshest lessons of necessity. Nothing included was useless, and nothing was wasted. The beauty of these forgotten tools lies in their simplicity. They weren't electronic, high-tech or complicated. They worked because they relied on universal laws: friction, reflection, insulation and resourcefulness. A modern camper with all the latest gear can still freeze, starve or get lost if they lack these fundamentals. but a soldier in 1944 could survive with nothing more than wire, wax, and a flame. If you want to understand true survival, not from screens, but from the people who lived it, keep learning from history's quietest heroes. Subscribe to In the Beginning, where every story uncovers the forgotten gear, field hacks, and practical survival wisdom that still matter today. Share this guide with those who believe preparation is about knowledge, not gadgets, because real survival begins long before the wilderness does.